Hello everyone, good evening. Welcome to PM Personality Profile. My guest tonight, another strong young woman, blazing the trail out there, a financial strategist, an auditor with over 20 years experience in auditing, publishing, and corporate promotional printing. She won the Printing Woman of the Year 2020 and the Printing Personality of the year 2021. She's currently the managing director of Appointed Time Printing Company Limited. Jacqueline Afful, my guest tonight. I'm happy to meet you.
Pleased to meet you too.
How have you been?
I'm well, I'm fine, yes.
Great. So I want us to start with some of your works in this industry. Undoubtedly, your company is one of the giants in this space, and you guys have been around for quite some time now. 20 years?
Yes.
That's a long way.
Just as you said, we've been in existence for the past 20 years, and we started as a t-shirt printing company for 10 years. After 10 years, we have diversified into commercial printing. And then last 2 years, we ventured also into publishing. And then this year, last year, we had 20th anniversary. And so we have also diversified into packaging. So what we actually do now, we are doing 4 sectors of printing. That's what Appointed Time Printing is doing now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I know you do textbooks.
Yes.
You are into security printing, commercial printing, and a lot more.
For the t-shirts, normally people will hear about us anytime there's election because we make noise all over the media stations, and so that is what we were known for. So at a point in time, you study the market and what the market trends is looking at. And so we decided to introduce commercial printing. But then, as a subsidiary of the Jospon Group of companies, Jospon itself had a printing press called Jospon Printing Press then. So that was subsumed under Appointed Time Printing. So that was when we started the commercial printing, where we do textbooks, we do corporate magazines, corporate reports, anything paper we do. And then we started to write our own textbooks, our manuscripts, which we are publishing now. Currently, we have 32 titles, spanning from preschool, primary school, and the junior high school. So those are the textbooks we are publishing now. Now, Ghana is also venturing more into manufacturing. I mean, it's one of the lessons we learned when we had COVID, and we couldn't import a lot of the things we do. And so a lot of people have started manufacturing their own things here. And so there was that also need identified for packaging boxes, especially for food, cosmetics. You realize that herbal industry is also growing, they are exporting a lot. So that need was also identified. And so that is what our new baby now, the packaging, that's what we're doing now as a company.
Well, that's quite interesting. And with all these successes that you've chalked, recently you won some awards for the company and yourself.
So we were recognized at the first Ghana Business Award, where we won the Printing Company of the Year. So they identified us as that because we were one type of printing company who are into both the t-shirt printing company and the paper printing company. Most of the times you have printing companies, either they are focused on one niche, and so that's what they do. But we won't say it's a one-stop printing company. And so for 20 years, that is what we are telling Ghanaians, that from start to finish, the process of everything printing, that's what we are giving out as a company.
So you won the business
Ghana Business Awards. That's the business Ghana Business Awards, the Printing Company of the Year, and then the Ghana Standards Excellence Award. So this awards also tries to identify, printing is a process, and in process you have to adhere to the standards of the printing. So one of the things that we're looking out for in our product is quality.
Yep.
And you can only achieve quality when you are adhering to what stage of the process of your print production requires. So this is something we don't take for granted at all in our production process, because quality, and like we say in printing, it's the finishing which gives the wow factor, no matter what you do through the production, but what comes out throughout the finishing stage. So the Ghana Standard Excellence Awards also identified us as a company which adhere to the printing processes standards. Okay. And so this year, to take it further, because we are into packaging, one of the things we are looking at, we've started the ISO audit so that we could become an ISO certified company, because anything with food, you have to take standards seriously. So that's how come where we are now.
And yourself, 2 awards.
Interestingly, printing itself is identified as a male-dominated industry.
True.
So even in my company, I think 70% of the staff population are male.
Amen.
And then I think recently we've done well. So we're trying to do the gender balance thing here. So we have women here. So having identified that, like the associations in Ghana, the printing association, so most times when you go for our meetings, you realize there's only male who comes, so female. So, but any time I attend, I try to make a voice, ask questions, and so they're like, where are you coming from, and all those things. But we're not deterred by such. We're also trying to say that women can also do printing. What I'm seeking really to promote is for us to have women operators, because it's the male who operates the machines, and that has been challenging. We are looking for the day the women will find it interesting and also become operators like the men do.
I think we'll get this.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
When you look at the filming industry,
sure,
we've had some women coming up strongly, so definitely we'll get there.
We look forward to that.
So woman, printing woman of the year and
yes,
printing personality of the year.
Yeah.
What was that all about?
So it's also about our success story.
Okay.
And for one of the things that we pride ourselves in, that we are a wholly owned Ghanaian company. And so we have said that a lot of the times, some Ghanaian companies don't see 5, they don't see 10, they don't see 15, they don't see 20. And so I and my team, we said we want to make a change. We've had printing companies, very big ones, who are not in existence now. So sustainability is what is driving us.
For 20 good years you've been doing this. The success stories, I'm sure, didn't come on a silver platter. I'm sure there have been turbulences that you've had to scale. Yeah.
So one morning you wake up on the news and you hear everybody calling you. You say appointed time has delivered a very bad product and it's been sued. And that was not the case. So the story was false. And so you get worried. I mean, how the stories came about, and there was nothing. So all you realize is that it's out there in the news. But like we're discussing today, it's past, we solved it. And then for printing, the unfortunate thing is that every raw material we use is imported. And so we've had a challenge. And one of the challenges is how Ghanaians can believe in pricing, because the notion out there is once you print outside, it's cheaper than doing it locally. But now some of them can really attest to the fact that actually we are matching the international prices. And one of the challenges is where we're looking for one day that the raw materials, especially paper, which is a significant part of the cost of production, will be exempted from duty and taxes.
Okay.
Yes,
that means you'll be having all of them here
exactly,
in the country and
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
But of course, recently, if you are in Ghana and you're a business, definitely you've been affected by the erratic power supply.
Sure.
Have you had your share?
Very, very, very painfully. And so we ran 2 sets of machines. So the screen printing machines, they ride on heat. And then the commercial printing machine, they ride on some cold. So you realize that the heat aspect of it, they draw more power, more energy consumption in the production. So for a company like us, where everything we do is automated, it's machines. So the power outages has significantly affected the business because it increases your cost of production. And then when it happens like that, you are forced to jump in excess labor hours, which are all factors of the production that increases the product. So for power outages, I think anybody in manufacturing doesn't want to smile. And for us, we really wish that power will be stable. And so when you talk to investors as to how to set something like a paper mill in Ghana here, because the whole of Africa, there's no paper mill here. So we import paper. And one of the things the investors will tell you that you don't have stable power. So we are not able to set up here. So for power outages, it's really been had a toll effect on our industry and on my business. Yeah.
Your ability to pull strings to get things done. Your staff have testified, and any other person that knows you talks about this quality about you. How do you do it, and what really motivates and drive this kind of spirit?
Okay. Printing is quality. You have to bring out a quality product. So in doing it, there are processes we go through. So for instance, you are making sure that the temperature of drying your sheet is this, because if you don't get it at that temperature, you are burning the shirt, or the ink will just sink in and will not be coming out well. And so maybe because of what we do, or I do, I'm particular about outcome of the print. And for printing, I always tell the staff, my team members, that customers liken it to the printers in their offices, where they pass the A4 and then it's done. So when there's another, for the customer, it has to be done, and this is what they are looking for. And so with that in mind, you always want to go ahead of the customer, not disappoint. And so that's what drives me. I want to always surprise you. We had said we'll give it to you on this day, but we want to give you at an earlier date and even go beyond what you are expecting. And so with that, I'm paying attention. I drive my team members along that this is what we are doing. And so we all get into it because we want to sustain the business for even 100 years and over.
That turns you to almost perfectionist.
Yeah.
You want it to be perfect.
Yes.
No wonder you are now in other countries aside. You have clients
yes.
globally.
Yeah.
But you started your career at PricewaterhouseCoopers.
Yes.
What was your job description?
Okay, so I'd gone in as an intern.
Oh, okay.
So what we do is we go around like for audits, and then I also had the opportunity to do my national service there because I became like a family member.
Okay.
And so it's that time that when there's nothing, you could always go in and then see whether you can get some fitting for some audit work. So I started as an intern there before I went to do my service there. So that was how I got in there. Audit itself, as we say, it's expression of an opinion of the financial results of the organizations. And so in the past, people had perceived auditors like police wanting to find fault, but there are structures at PwC. And so once you get in as an employee, you come out as one of the best because It's an international brand, a global brand, and so when it comes to standards and systems, they don't take it lightly at all. And so anybody who goes through that mill, you realize that you are fine cuts for the corporate environment. And so it's an experience I would encourage everybody to have. Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And were there challenges?
I had a very good boss. She was a female. She's called Benedicta. And so she was all out in modeling me, trying to make me a better version of herself. That's what she keeps telling me. So I used to tell my employees that this was somebody who works at 8. Sometimes on my own, I decide to come at 7. So she tagged me as a 7 a.m. person. So the days I don't go at 7, I go at 8. I get in and she's angry. She doesn't want to see me. And I ask myself, work starts at 8. I decide to come at 7. And because I was going at 7, anytime
for yourself.
I got myself in trouble. So I got to know that she gets upset when I come at 8. So I decided, and then I'll continue at the 7. And that was how, I think that was the only challenge. But when I look back, I think she did a good job. She made me punctual.
Okay, and a better person.
Exactly, exactly.
So then you got in here as a financial manager of finance or finance?
So I came in as, by then we didn't have the title finance. I came in as an accountant.
Okay.
So through Just One Group's restructuring, then they introduced the title finance manager. Okay. So that was what I transitioned into. And I think along the line, I was promoted to be a general manager. Okay. And so it's nice, but it comes with challenges that mean you have to do more now than what you were doing. For the finance manager, so the financial aspects of the company was virtually being managed by me. So at that time, I come in young, and like I said, then I'll say the gender balance was like 10% and then 90% male. And so they are seeing you as a small girl. So sometimes when they bring things and you don't want to pay or question it, they have issues with it. But I think along the line, I think I have been very fortunate. I had a boss then, by then, a finance director. He was also very strict and very stringent with, especially in demanding of his reports. And I think along the line I was pregnant, and so he didn't take it lightly with me at all. And the challenges that come with pregnancy, I've been unable to show up, and sometimes you come and you're annoying. He wasn't looking at that. When it's time for his report, he wants it, and so that is what you have to give him. But I think that through it all, by then, we are not going into this the economical challenges that we are now. So it was quite a smooth road then. So it was okay.
It was okay then.
Yeah, it was
then you
okay.
took up the big cup. You
Yes.
wore the big shoes.
Yes.
General manager.
General
That
manager.
certainly comes with a whole dimension of
Yes.
portfolio, if you
Sure.
like.
Yes. So it wasn't a small hurdle, because I'd transitioned from the finance role to the general manager role. But I used to work closely with my general manager.
Okay.
But then somebody will say, it's your turn now, so what can you do for us as the position that you are occupying? So one of the things I look for, by then, like I said, we're only doing T-shirts. And so people had come with requisitions or requests or orders for papers. So normally we'll subcontract it outside to some other companies to do it. So I think it was one of my colleagues, he's called Charles Edu. So one day he walked to me and he said, GM, we want you to diversify into commercial printing. I said, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. So GM, we can do it. And so we started 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and then we decided to go into acquisition of machines for that. The hurdle was how to convince the shareholder that this is what you want to do, especially with the background of the shareholder having been into that kind of business, and the business is no longer in existence. But he bought into the idea and where we wanted to take the business to. So he jumped onto it, provided some funds, and today we are amongst the best and the top 5 printing companies in Ghana. And so for the general manager role, by then we had like 5 departments. Now when we look at it, we are around 14 different departments.
Wow.
In the company. And so it's been a very learning experience for me. So I've evolved. It's evolved me, and the company has also evolved. And that's where we find ourselves now.
This normally is a male-dominated area.
Yeah.
And I mean, even the finance, you being a finance manager, is still a male-dominated area. How have you been able to navigate around all of this, you know, amidst the bullying and all of that?
I think it's my passion. So that's what my team members would do. I'm passionate about what I do. And so I want to see the outcome or the output of what I've started as top there. I mean, one of the best. So for finance, we have tried as a company to run with our own funds, and so we don't want to go for loans. Not that we don't want to, but we're trying to do things with our own equity as it is now. And for me being a woman in what I do, and especially with male around me, I tell people that I enjoy it because they see you as a queen. They are queen. And so they virtually become like your soldiers and always want to push you to the top because they are male. They always want to carry you to the top. And so they also come with a lot of encouragement. And at the same time, they also sometimes the male in them comes out. But once it gets them, we have that friction. We are able to iron it out, and the next minute or two, we are going. So that's how it has been along the line.
You're a young woman, you are attaining this high height. I mean, there are so many times you will hear people say that, oh, she got there because she had to sleep with this person or that person. I mean, climbing the ladder, I mean, did you face some of these challenges?
No. Well, for whatever position I've found myself in, they are purely interviews. I know no one. I've seen in the papers.
So you worked your way out.
And I apply for it. I come for the interview, and you look forward to be getting into it. And so, well, I've been fortunate. Let me put it that way. I haven't had that experience yet. But whatever I am now is something I worked my way into it to get to where we are now.
As a general manager and as a woman, do you remember what your biggest challenge has been in this whole 17 years of working in Appointed Time Printing Company Limited?
So my biggest challenge in Appointed Time Printing, I think it's a lot too.
It's not one.
Okay, so in this industry, because government is the largest buyer of printing, so once there's a change in government, the government comes and say, oh, your company, you were working with the previous government, so you have been tagged as a member of that previous government, so you struggle to get the government business because you were working with the previous government. The next government also come and they say you were with the other but this is a company you've set up and the service you are providing, and so you don't want to choose which one. So that's the challenge. So once there's a change of government, you realize that your printing goes down a bit, because sometimes when they heard that thing, they want to verify and say, no matter how you say that,
convince them.
So that's one of the challenges until sometime around it gets better. But I think as a business, that's what we've also realized, and so we are minimizing our dependence on government business and trying to grow the private business. So the reason why we're doing the packaging and the publishing. Yeah. The other ones are the economical factors. I don't have control over it, but of course, once we are in business, so when you come and they are not there, it's kind of worrying for you. So you have the power outages, you have the rising prices of raw materials, they're just skyrocketing because we don't have any price control in this country. So people just increase their prices. You go buy the thing today, tomorrow, and it's something you need, and so you have to buy it. And so it kind of reduces your margins because there's VAT, there's corporate tax and all those things. So those are some of the challenges. But like I said, those ones, I don't have any control. So I face it and then we find strategies around it.
Deal with it.
Yeah.
Jacqueline Afful, she's my guest tonight. She is the Printing Woman of the Year 2020, Printing Personality of the Year 2021. She is one of the women battling it out with the men in the printing industry. She's probably the first woman general manager in the printing sector. And I'm having a very interesting conversation with her. When I returned from this break, she spent her affirmative years in Co.Ltd here in Accra. She'll be telling us about growing up there. She'll also be sharing with us, does she want to become a financial expert or financial strategist, whichever way you want to put it, whilst growing up? What really did she want to become growing up? She'll also be sharing with us her lifestyle and family values. Stay with me, I'm coming right back. Welcome back to PM Personality Profile. Jacqueline Afful, still my guest tonight. Which part of the country do you hail from?
I'm half Achim and half Ada Ningo, New Ningo.
Oh wow,
so
what a
combination. My father is from Ada and my mother is from Isutem, in the Eastern region. Yeah.
Okay, so you were born in Accra?
Yes, I was born in Accra in Co.Ltd.
In Co.Ltd.
Yes.
And you grew up there?
Yes, I grew up there. Yes, up to I think 25 years of my life. That's why I lived.
Wow.
Yeah.
So whilst in secondary school, you were still going and coming to Co.Ltd.
Exactly.
A lot must have happened at Co.Ltd.
Yes. Co.Ltd, as we know it, it's a very tough environment growing up there with all the
typical Ghana area.
Typical Ghana area.
So you speak very good Ghana.
I do.
Yeah, show me.
Yeah, show me.
Oh, really? Okay.
So I think that growing up We don't say Kolegono. We say I come from KG. Where do you stay? So you stay in KG. So we don't say Kolegono. So
well,
it's
that's
KG.
Supposed to be some residential
exactly,
area.
It's KG. And I think that along the line we were fortunate. By then, may her soul rest in Theresa Melitego was our member of parliament.
Okay.
So one day we woke up to asphalt roads.
Oh wow!
All the environs of Kolegono now known. So that was when we transitioned it from Kolegono to KG Estate. We're first class, you know.
Tell me about
it. So for some of us then, we had said that, no, this is a residential area. Okay. Because you hardly find such roads in such communities. And so we had said that as for these roads, we have to leave it. But you know, growing up there, because of all the vices there, naturally you become a fighter. Because if you don't fight and you are not strong, you always be beaten.
So
because
survival of the fittest.
So that's what. And you know, typically in a compound house with everybody. I mean, when your mother beats you, everybody gets to you, you go, all the things that there is. And I remember there was this Tuesday market. So Tuesday you were looking for it because that's where you get all the foodstuffs and the cheap things around that area. So I think that one of my strong, the male aspect in me comes from that area, because if you are not strong, you can't survive in college. You will always be beaten. So you always have to make sure that you win the fight. And so you learn some acrobatics and all the things, and then you balance it here and there. So that was college. I lived around park. It's called Dr. Bannerman. I love football then, so I had a team. So I'm the type who is always wanting my team. When my mother gives me money, I save it to go and put it in the team, give it to the players.
And what's the name of your team?
I don't remember.
And it was guys playing or
girls? It was
girls?
guys playing, you know.
And you are the owner?
I'm the owner of the team. I mean, the coach is there. And so the fun aspect of it was the dressing room where we'll go and be singing and all the things.
And giving them morale.
Exactly. But then we go and then we are being scored. So we don't win, we don't get anything. So I love football. So I was always putting my money into it. I'll fast and then save the money and go and give it to the players. Then, so one day I just woke up, I'm like, this thing, I'm not going to do it again.
I'm not going to do it again.
All the fasting that I do, these players don't even look at it. I know once the match ends, they are looking forward for their money. So one day, we went to play, and they lost. Before they lost,
you ran
left
away.
The place. So in
you never received beatings before.
They'll come and look for you. So my mother was like, the players are coming. So she paid them. So for the next 2 weeks, I won't get any money. So that was what took me out, and I lost interest.
And so your mother didn't give you money for 2 weeks?
No, she didn't give me, because she had to pay the players. Because that's what I
was. You wanted a team.
Yes. And sometimes I see some of the guys.
Who have made it to the top.
Who have made it to the top.
Do you still love football?
Yes, I love football, but not so much.
Like when you were young?
Yes, when I was young, but now I hardly follow it. Yeah.
Let's talk about education in Kolegono.
Okay.
Where did it start for you?
There was a primary school around the beach. It was called Shalom.
Okay.
So that was where I started. And then from there I continued. Then it used to be Kimbu Junior High School. So from there I went to Winneba Secondary School.
Okay.
Winneba was, it was a mixed school. I remember in my form was what we now everybody knows, Shatawale. So I always tell people
he was your mate.
Yes, for what he is, he's always been so. He's the type who always leading for things to be done, demanding for things. So in Winneba Secondary School, It was a mixed school, and so all the things that you will expect from dining, from entertainment, and all there is, it was happening there. And for us in Winneba, we always look forward for the Abuatri Festival, because that's the only time you can get an extra to go and then watch it. So it was all fun there for 3 years.
What kind of a student were you?
I'm a critic. I like analysis, so I wasn't cool. Together with the mixture of the polygon, it was not easy. So that was the kind of person.
Were you a troublesome student?
Not troublesome, but
somehow,
okay. Because of,
I can see that you were smallish at that time. Were
yes,
you?
Yeah, I was.
That means that you get some bullying and beatings as well.
Yes, I do. And so when I discovered that, I always try to leave the dormitory at 4 a.m.
When you are supposed to leave at 5?
Yes, because somebody is looking for you to punish you. And so you
But
leave.
why is it that you are the only one they are looking for to punish?
Because I had to go and fetch water. And I didn't go.
For your senior?
For my senior. And so I didn't go. And so I know they'll come and look for me. So I have to be fast. By 4 a.m. I have to leave the dormitory. And I'll come back at 8 p.m. when they are sleeping. So you come back, and so when they get hold of you, you are in trouble. You have to kneel down until God knows how many hours your time will be up for you to get up. So, yeah.
Were you a bad girl?
No, I wasn't a bad girl.
People will smuggle, go out to the club and those things.
No. I wasn't a bad girl. I was
the box ticker.
The box ticker. I wasn't.
So you never got into any trouble? Well,
no, I never.
Aside, swerving your senior small.
No. I didn't get into any trouble. I wish my house mistress was here. She said Jacqueline doesn't like trouble.
Okay.
But when you give her trouble, she'll give you trouble.
In equal measure. But how would you describe the learning environment? The discipline,
then now,
the teachers.
Yes, it was better then because we were not many. The things were structured, by them. The schools were managed by the headmasters, and so they always also look out for what can be done. Yeah. And so the learning environment, it was very competitive, and so you have to put in. I remember the prep time, how they were very serious by then. If you don't go and you are caught, how they will deal with you. So the learning environment was great. And I think we had very good teachers who had taken us as a project and wanted to see us excel. So I think the students at that time who committed to it, I think that a lot of them are doing great.
Like yourself, doing very well in your field. Yeah. Were there challenges?
No, I didn't. I was an only child, so.
Okay, you were a DB.
Yeah, so I was okay.
So you had everything.
Yeah, so I was okay.
Okay, you were okay.
Yeah.
And you say you weren't bullied? You didn't get any form of bullying?
Oh, for Form 1, you get. I think one day I was Spanish. I had to go and weed. Okay. So I went through it, and after the weeding, I think I got sick because I was not used to it. And so they gave me exit. And when I came, I remember I was crying and showing my mom my palm, what there is and what has happened. So punishments, we got some along there. I remember one time after assembly, the prefect just called her. What was our crying? He said, we're giggling. But then I didn't know the meaning of the word giggling. And he said, we're giggling, so we should go and kneel down. Oh. And so giggling will never go out of my mind. So those were some of the things. So punishment, Form 1, but I think once you get to Form 2, you're also a senior now.
Yes,
so
semi-senior.
Exactly, you get to punish somebody. So that was how it's
quite
been.
Interesting. And so after that, you said Winneba.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye to your
Let's
troubles.
yes.
And then you came back to Accra, to the University of Ghana.
Yes, I came back to Accra.
You're an Accra girl.
Yes. So but now I tilt towards the village most.
You do?
Almost every 2 weeks.
You go to the village.
Yeah.
Okay. Why?
I'm maternal, so I go there a lot, and I'm also some royal something. So
they're planning to make you a queen
that one. I don't want it, so I go there. It's better you go show your because sometimes that's an invitation and they invite you, so you have to go.
That's
so
beautiful.
I go there.
That's
so I go to the village almost every 2 weeks.
Okay.
I'm in Sutem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about University of Ghana. The experience. I'm sure that was different from secondary school.
Yes.
A lot of freedom.
Exactly. There's a lot of freedom in the university. So once you enter and don't take time, you are swayed away. So there's fun.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. A lot of activities. So once you have that balance, I mean, you have the fun because you don't want to be that. So you have the fun. When the education time also come, you get into it. So when lectures is calling you, you're showing up. And when there's fun, there's activities and all there is, you get into it. My focus more was on the studies. It was demanding then. It was demanding then because that was always in. By then we didn't have this.
So
Zoom.
what did you read?
I did accounting.
Accounting. And in secondary school?
I did accounting.
Accounting in secondary school.
Yes. Okay. I'm an only child, and so I wanted to make my parents proud. So I was the study type, trying to get something out of all the struggle. Yes,
they must be proud of you right now.
That's what I do.
Are they still alive?
Oh yes, they are alive.
They must be very proud of you.
Yes, they are.
Growing up, we know that our parents would always direct us. I want you to become a medical doctor. I want you to become this. What did you want to become whilst growing up?
Yes, actually, I had wanted to be a doctor, a medical doctor.
Okay.
But how life may have it or chart it out. When I got into the secondary school, I think I got business. I tried changing it. It didn't work. And so I got stuck to it.
With the business.
Lo and behold, I was also good with numbers. I like math. So I think I found an easier path there. So that's how come I charted that path along the line. And I think when I look back, it's paid off. Yes.
It's paid off.
Yeah.
But your parents never had any problem with you?
Not at all.
They never wanted, impose anything on you that this is what we really want you to become?
No, I didn't have that. It was what I wanted, and we discussed that, and so they were okay with it. Yes.
Okay.
So that's what
They must be happy with what you've turned out to be. And the kids, you said you got pregnant. How many of them?
I have 3 kids.
3 kids. You don't look it. How many boys? How many girls?
I have 2 girls and a boy.
And a boy. That's nice. I'm sure they're also proud of you. And which among them is toying your line, the maths?
I think my son. I see that in him.
That in him?
Yeah, okay. I think my son.
And the girls?
One I see she likes literature, something. The other one said she wants to do law, so I don't want to impose on them. I'm looking at what
you only have to guide them.
Yeah, I'm guiding them. Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
And of course, you don't look it. You have 3 kids and you're looking this fit. What do you do to keep fit?
I do exercise a lot. I exercise a lot. I can't go with that. If I miss it in the morning, I'll do it in the evening.
You mean every day?
Every day. If I miss it in the morning, I'll do it in the evening.
That's nice.
So I've charted this part for, at least if I'm not doing it, I should do something like 30 minutes.
Of exercise?
Yeah, so I exercise a lot.
What kind of exercise do you do?
Strangely, I like lifting metals. So I've done it for so many years, so it's very easy for me. So typically when I wake up in the morning, so I'll do my stretch. When I do my stretch, I'll do like 15 sets of 5. Okay. Then I take the 6-kilogram dumbbells. I also take it up, down. So that says I'm counting. I have some music playing in the background, and so I do it before I realize it's 6 a.m. So then you have to. I have to. But sometimes if I sleep and I'm not able to, I'll make sure that my last meal for the day should end somewhere around 3 because I want to exercise in the evening. Okay. And so I get into it. So that's what I do. And for consistency, I've done it over the years. So it's become part of me. Part of you. Yes, yes, wow. Yeah.
You mean you lift metal?
Oh, yes.
Guys! You know, I ran away from javelin because I was told to go and lift metals, and I'm like, oh, really?
Oh. If you do it over time, it's easier. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so that's what I do. I do that a lot. Yeah.
Okay, and you listen to music, definitely.
Yes.
What kind of music do you love to listen to?
For me, when there's some latest music, whether gospel, secular, it is what is trending that I go with.
Okay.
So for now, on my gadgets, you go into is that Dinah Hamilton's latest song. That's what I'm listening. If another secular music comes and I listen to it, I'll go and listen. I'll start playing it for a while until I get something new. So that's what.
So then Hamilton. A lot more of the young people, especially women out there, are looking up to you. Yeah. So keep up the good work. Yeah. Viewers, thank you so much for watching PM Personality Profile. And my guest, I've been learning a lot from her. And Sunday is your birthday.
Yes.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, Aisha.
Same time next week, viewers will be bringing you another special edition on PM Personality Profile. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Do enjoy the rest of our programs.